The WWE is one of the most successful sports entertainment companies in the world. For over 40 years, the WWE has attracted millions of fans, filling up arenas all over the US and globally. The wrestlers a part of the brand have become celebrities with millions of cheering fans at every show. This has allowed the WWE to become one of the most successful and profitable businesses in the country, as in 2022 alone, they raked in over $1.3 billion. One man primarily responsible for making the WWE the behemoth it is today was no other than Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is to the WWE what Walt was to Disney. Without Vince, the WWE would certainly not have the success and the legacy it has today. But as of recently, McMahon has tainted not only his own legacy, but that of the WWE as well, after being exposed for some disturbing behavior. What was revealed about Vince may change the way the world sees the WWE forever. It also definitely proves that Vince and others in the WWE were into some very disturbing activities. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome to The Truth Is, where I post new videos every other day exposing the truth. In today's episode, I'm joined by my good friend Chris.
What's up, guys?
We're going to be talking about Vince McMahon being exposed for hosting WWE Freakoffs. But before we begin, I just wanted to let my Patreons know that a new video on the adult film industry's connection to the occult will be dropping on Friday the 23rd. So if you're one of my Patreon members, you can expect that video soon. Thank you all. Now let's get right into it. Vince McMahon was the face and brains behind the WWE's success since the start. He started working at the company right out of college, as his father was the owner of the brand. He ended up buying the company from his father and then grew it into what it is today, one of the biggest money-making machines in America. Early on, Vince discovered that the cheering masses loved them some men in tights pretend wrestling. He also realized that if you add some drama-filled storylines, you can build yourself a wrestling entertainment empire. And that's exactly what he ended up doing. Since Vince was the face of one of the biggest wrestling companies in the world, this made him a very powerful man. And as you will soon find out, he used that immense power in the most disturbing way imaginable, taking advantage of his female employees. Last month, it was revealed by the media that Vince McMahon was leaving the WWE after years of leading it. A massive company was losing its leader unexpectedly, but the reason wasn't because of old age or poor health, but something much more disturbing. Right as it was being reported that Vince was leaving the WWE, it was also being reported that he was being sued by a former employee by the name of Janelle Grant for what he had done to her while he was her superior. The almost 70-page lawsuit tells a very disturbing story of how Vince McMahon used his immense power to force Janelle into relationships with him for a job at the WWE. According to the lawsuit filed back in January, Janelle was SA'd by Vince back in 2019 and 2020 after she began working for Vince McMahon. She claims that she met Vince back in 2019 after she was introduced to him by her building's manager. Vince at the time was renting out a penthouse suite in the same building she was living in. Sadly, in 2019, Janelle had lost everything after her parents passed away, leaving her nothing. Janelle was desperate and looking for employment, and that's when her building manager asked Vince McMahon if he can provide her with a job in his massive company. Vince agreed, and this is when he began a relationship with her. Vince began the unwanted flirting and gifting. She claims that he began taking her to exclusive WWE VIP events to impress her. At around the same time, he became more aggressive with his advances, which according to Janelle made her a bit uncomfortable. But she continued to communicate with him because she needed a job, so she dealt with it. Eventually, Vince would offer her a job, but according to Janelle, he would only hire her if she had a hidden relationship with him. Vince would also allegedly warn her that if she agreed but decided to speak out about their arrangement, he would have his lawyer shut her up. Janelle eventually agreed to be in this hidden relationship, and Vince would keep his word, granting her a made-up position in the WWE legal department. Over the next few months is when the alleged SA occurred on many different occasions. Janelle claims she participated in arranged hookups with Vince so she can keep her job. She was forced to sign an NDA which prevented her from speaking out. She couldn't even tell people she worked for the WWE. She also claimed that Vince started inviting fellow WWE staff and even a WWE star to engage in activities with her. He would even instruct her to meet up with another WWE executive, John Lawrence's, in which she claims she hooked up with him. She also claims that he routinely would invite other men to join their activities, making her hook up with other men as he watched. There's a lot that she claims in the lawsuit that's really graphic and disturbing, and I can't get into all the allegations here. This video was originally supposed to be a Patreon exclusive, but I decided I'll just censor most of it and make it for YouTube. According to Janelle, on one occasion, she was invited by Vince to participate in a group hookup. This is when she claims the most disturbing thing happened to her. It's important to note that Janelle was being forced to engage in these activities at the WWE headquarters building while she was at work. I do want to warn you that this part of the claims is truly disgusting and disturbing. Janelle claims that while she was participating in a group session with Vince, Vince ended up climbing up on top of her and proceeded to take a number 2 on her head while the other man was engaged in activities with her. Vince then ordered her to sit covered in his waist while the other man continued to do what he was doing for an hour and a half. We have all heard about some sick stuff happening in Hollywood, but this definitely took the ball. Once I saw this, I immediately knew what it was, and it just confirmed that Vince McMahon was an occultist. What Vince did to Janelle was a sex ritual that was actually taught by Aleister Crowley in his Thelema cult religion. Crowley had several rituals that line up exactly with what Vince was doing to Janelle. Vince was using his immense power in the WWE to coerce Janelle to participate in his Thelema rituals. He then forced her to sign an NDA which would keep her quiet. After the situation happened, Janelle was trying to avoid Vince, telling him that she wasn't feeling good and needed time. She claims that not long after this, Vince approached her and told her that his wife had found out about their engagement. He offered her money to leave the company quietly and to sign an NDA that would prevent her from speaking about what happened to her. Vince offered her $1 million to keep quiet, but Janelle felt that she deserved $3 million for what she had been put through. Vince agreed and paid her $1 million and told her the rest would come in installments. Janelle never got the rest of her money and decided to sue Vince, the WWE, and all the rest of the people involved. She claimed in her lawsuit that what Vince did to her scarred her for life. This wasn't the only woman who had this problem with Vince, as 3 other women have been paid millions to keep quiet. It was reported that Vince was actually removed from the company because it was discovered by the board of directors that he had been using company money to pay these settlements, claiming that he paid over $19 million to 4 different female victims. Vince was being exposed as a monster, and the world was getting to see the truth about Vince and the WWE. One thing I wanted to bring up in this video that I saw people in the last video saying was that the WWE wrestlers weren't into the occult. Well, not only does this Vince situation prove it, as Vince literally had his wrestlers engaging in these rituals with him, but I also discovered that one of the most famous wrestlers in the WWE, Undertaker, was actually a part of the Masonic organization for young boys. That's right, the wrestler who acted like an occultist on stage was actually a real occultist. For those who don't know from previous videos, the Demole is a Masonic organization designed for children of Masons. They teach kids about Masonry and prepare them to be Masons in adulthood. The Undertaker is a Masonic puppet, and he is deceiving the world by claiming he turned to Christ. His persona was based on his real life. While he wasn't really coming back to life, he was participating in occult magic. All of this proves what kind of man Vince was and what kind of company he built. A sick company that operated in the world of the occult just like the rest of Hollywood. The WWE is just more Masonic programming to corrupt the minds of the world. These disturbing allegations made against Vince proves everything I said about the WWE when I covered it. So many people were in denial and said the WWE was not a part of the Masonic system, even when I displayed clear evidence. During last year's WrestleMania, the artist they brought out to open the event openly wore a Masonic square and compasses chain. They made sure to zoom in and make the Masonic symbol visible to the camera. Those who love the WWE saw that and still denied their Masonic connection. The WWE promotes nothing but degeneracy and has brainwashed countless generations of kids. They literally had to put a warning up before their show came on to advise kids not to repeat what they saw on TV so they don't get sued. They know just how influential wrestling is to the youth. Are we really surprised that the man behind it all was a complete monster? What he was accused of proves he was an occultist and a Thelemite in my opinion. The fact that he allegedly wanted this girl to engage in activities with multiple men of his own staff while he watched tells me exactly what he was doing was a Thelema ritual. Crowley's Thelema followers were frequently engaged in group activities just like this, where one man offers up his wife to play as a Scarlet Woman and the other men engage in activities while he watched. This is a literal ritual done in Thelema, and this is exactly what Vince was participating in. The fact that so many members of his staff were down to do it with him lets you know that they're all a part of the same cult. This is the reason so many celebrities are accused of doing things like this. They all participate in sex rituals, and it explains why Hollywood is so obsessed with sex so much, because they're followers of Crowley. It's not hard to see that all of Hollywood follows Crowley. They embody his credo within the industry. The industry of Hollywood is all about stars and doing what they want, and everyone acting as if they're their own god. Those in Hollywood pretend to be gods, while they all participate in these occult rituals. They're all involved in the occult.
You know what's crazy, right? This sounds exactly like Diddy's Freakoffs from last year. I know everyone remembers the Diddy Freakoff parties with Cassie. It was the same exact story. Diddy had Cassie hook up with adult male stars while he sat in a corner and watched. Sounds like the exact thing you explained about Vince. This has to be something these powerful gatekeepers are into. It's also interesting to me that both of them got exposed right after each other. I know that Diddy was targeted after his problems with the liquor brand that owned Ciroc. That's when he started getting exposed, like the elite were trying to get rid of him. He settled with the liquor company and lost everything he had with them, and now the attention is off Diddy. I also saw they were trying to get Vince off the WWE leadership roles for a while now. Now, all of a sudden, he's getting exposed by someone he previously had paid off. It appears to me the reason these allegations are coming out now is because they were trying to get Vince out the picture.
I mean, honestly, that's a good point in my opinion. We already seen countless examples of this exact thing happening, you know? I also believe that all these allegations came out about Diddy was because they were trying to get him out the way. They were trying to shut him up. Diddy was trying to play big and bad. He was trying to be a boss. And then they turned the media against him. They turned the industry against him. And now Diddy has been humbled. This is how the elite above the gatekeepers keep their gatekeepers in control. Yeah, you have all this power, but don't let that power get to your head. And don't start thinking that you have more power than us or you're bigger than us. We'll put you in check at all times. And that's what I believe is happening with Vince McMahon. Maybe they just wanted to get Vince McMahon out of the company already, and he didn't want to leave. We already seen multiple examples of companies that are bought out after they make it to a certain level, and it seems like they're almost pressured to sell the company. And that's what I believe might have happened with Vince McMahon. Don't get me wrong. He definitely did these disturbing things. I believe he did this to way more than just this woman. I think this is the only woman who was brave enough to come out. But the way that he was able to do this so casual, just get this woman to agree to do all these weird things, and he did it without any shame or anything, that to me shows that this is something he's committed to, something he continuously done, you know? And we know that Vince McMahon is a weird guy. He shows it through the very WWE programming. We see the things that they've shown us throughout the years, the storylines that they have taken, you know?
Yeah, the first thing I thought to myself when I saw the allegations was that old clip of Stephanie, his daughter, that's floating around online. Stephanie called out Vince years ago for wanting to do something strange with her. Stephanie said that when she was pregnant, Vince wanted her to pretend like she was pregnant with his baby. She claimed that Vince wanted her to play out a storyline for the WWE in which she gets pregnant by her own father. When she rejected it, he asked her if we can use your brother instead. This was a prime example of what type of programming the WWE was putting out there. Why even push a storyline where a man impregnated his own daughter? It's just sick to me, and it just shows what they are pushing. This older man was out here doing these very disturbing activities with these much younger women, and then he paid her off to shut up. It matches perfectly with the content that WWE puts out already.
A man who would act like he had a baby with his own daughter is truly a sick man. But are we surprised? As he's a straight up occultist who was doing the most disturbing rituals at the WWE. The star wrestlers are nothing more than Masonic puppets, just like the rest of the celebrities. Now, the question remains, will the legacy of the WWE be forever tainted after Vince was exposed for hosting WWE Freakoffs? Or will they continue to support this disturbing company? Well, that's it for this video. But before you go, I just wanted to ask you guys to like and comment so that this video will be recommended to others. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.